Matt.
So we are live here. Every day we're live.
Yo, we're
All right.
live. Live
Behave,
at
bro.
5.
Behave, bro.
You got
Yeah,
it.
this is another episode of Totally Uncensored. And I got my boy with me today, Rene Garcia.
Yo, what up?
Me and Rene, we're gonna have fun because me and Rene go way back. And I
Yeah,
wanted
man.
to talk to Rene because if you're a comedian out there, well, not even a comic, if you're a comic, an actor, whatever your dream is, and you have to go to LA to get that dream, a lot of people are afraid to do it. A lot of people do it, they struggle, they don't make it. And then there's people
Yeah.
that do it, struggle, and then make it. And are happy like heck. And Rene Garcia is one of those. I remember when I met Rene Garcia, he was afraid to make that big move, weren't you, Rene?
I was, man. I was scared. I was
He
nervous.
was scared. He was crying, "Oh, Mike, I can't go to LA, Mike. I can't go to LA." I said,
Yeah.
"No, that's where you need to be, Rene. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Trust me." So Rene said, "Okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna go." And I'm gonna jump right into this, Rene.
Okay.
So anyway, make a long story short, Rene didn't want to go to California, right? You don't admit that, right? You don't
Right.
want to go to LA, right?
Self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage. Rene self-sabotage.
That's
his
right.
dream
When
because-
people are scared to do what they know they want to do, but they're just scared to do it, they do things, and it's called self-sabotage.
Right, self-sabotage. So let's talk about the first thing you did, or one of the things you did that was self-sabotage. Let's talk about your first DUI
Ah.
in Houston, Texas. That was
It's funny, right? Because you were there.
Listen, I was in the passenger seat trying to hype you up, bro, motivate you. Next week, we're going to LA, bro. We're gonna jump in that U-Haul truck. We're going to LA. And what is Rene Garcia driving down Westheimer Boulevard or Westheimer Road? Gets pulled over.
Dang, you even remember the road we were on. You remember the street? Damn.
I'll never forget because I remember when we got pulled over, right? The first thing I told you was, Rene, say very little. Just give him your driver's license, registration, zip it up. But you wouldn't do that. Tell them the story, Rene.
Yeah.
As you remember it, because you were drunk. Go ahead.
I did the exact opposite. I told him the most, and I opened my mouth as wide as I could. Oh man, I started telling these cops about my religion, and I ate meat, and it was Good Friday, and I felt terrible, and I'm a sinner. Oh God, man, I did the complete opposite of what you told me to do.
Exactly. And I remember sitting in the passenger seat, just I said, "This stupid motherfucker, man."
I know, man.
I told him to be quiet, but obviously he's self-sabotaging himself, and I got to listen to this shit. And this is how it went down. You're right, but this is how it went down. Right?
Yeah.
The cop says to you, "Sir, let me see your license." Right? You give him your license, right?
Yeah.
Then he says, "Have you had anything to eat tonight?" You go, "As a matter of fact, officer, I did. Yes, I had a piece of steak. I had a piece of steak, and I feel so guilty because I'm a Catholic, and I know it's a sin to be eating steak on a Friday. I feel horrible, officer." The officer then goes, "Step out of the car."
Yeah.
That's when I knew it was over, bro. When he said, "Step out of the car," I said, "This fucking idiot going into this rant about being a Catholic." I knew you were going, bro, but they made you do the walkie.
They made me do the whole shebang, dude.
Oh man, it's funny.
I mean, walk the line and do a backflip, juggle 3 oranges. I mean, you name it, they had me doing it. And the sad thing was, Mike, is that I can tell you that I was when they handcuffed me and they put me in the backseat of the car, there was part of me that still thought I'm gonna get off because I was thinking, okay, well, I don't know how I did. I mean, I can't really see myself.
I was watching you. That horrible.
Oh, did I do that, man?
Bro, you walked by the windshield in front. I was looking at you, bro. You had this face with the handcuffs, and this was you. You were like,
I
I
don't even
felt like I
remember.
wanted to hold you like my child, bro. It was sad, bro. But yeah, you were horrible.
But you know what's funny is that I'm sitting in the back seat and they both get in and they're watching my video. They're playing it back with the camera inside the patrol car. And I'm back there. I'm watching it just as much as they're watching it. So I'm like in the middle behind them, right? And I'm looking at it, and out of nowhere, I go, "Hey!" I go, "Yeah, I did pretty good, didn't I?" I go, "Look at that!" I go, I did pretty good." And they both turned. It was like a scene out of a movie. They both turned around and said, "Shut up, sit back, and don't say a word." And the one guy just goes, "Are you kidding? You did horrible." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like,
Right.
It wasn't until then, and then we started to drive away that I was like, okay, yeah.
And you know, it's funny because that night I think I was in the I don't know if Ambrose was with us, but I remember the cop said to me because I was buzzing too.
Yeah.
I wasn't driving. He said, "So you're not sober enough to drive the car. So you get out. We're gonna call you a taxi." So just so you know, bro, they had to call me a cab. You didn't make it to where we're staying. I think I was staying at the W Hotel. What's that one on West Highland? W Hotel?
I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It might have been the W. It might have been.
I don't
Oh no,
know.
the Derrick.
The Derrick.
The Hotel Derrick.
Bro, you missed by 10 blocks, bro. You almost had me there. I would have brought you to my room and sobered you up.
Yeah, brother.
You didn't do it, bro. You didn't do it.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember that we happened to be out that night, and who we saw at one of the clubs that night was Rocky Juarez. Do you remember that?
A boxer.
The boxer guy. Yeah. He had just had a fight, and we saw him at the club like it was like an after party or something, and we had a couple of. I think we had a couple of tequila shots with him as a celebration for him as in his win. But I remember that night, and I was like, God dog it. I go, why didn't I just let Ambrose drive? Because he was asking me to drive.
Because you said it in the opening. It was self-sabotage. Rene, West Highland Boulevard, right? A road is 45 miles an hour. You were driving like 65 miles an hour on West Highland.
Oh, that's not that bad.
At almost like,
I could have been going 85, Mike.
Oh, right. You were going 65, bro. And if I remember, it was like 1:30 in the morning, bro. You can't do that. But self-sabotage, you pretty much said, "Come and catch me. Come and get me."
Yeah.
Right? Because what happened? By doing that, you were guaranteed 1 year in Houston. Because now with a DUI, you can't leave Houston.
Yeah.
So now you know I got a year before, facing the next reality or the next time I have to think about going to LA.
Yeah.
You were very smart by doing that.
No, not at
all.
all.
Yourself a year, because you also not only bought yourself a year, but tell them now when you get a DUI in Houston, how do you drive? What do they got on the steering wheel to make sure you don't drink?
Oh man, they made me put this mechanism on my car that was attached to. Yeah, it was attached to my. They attached it to the engine that's attached to the steering wheel, and you have to blow on it to start your car, and it has to register to make sure that you haven't been drinking. Otherwise, your car won't start. I mean,
you have to blow. You have to blow on it, right?
Mike, you basically have to give your car a blowjob to get it to start. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if your car's not satisfied, it ain't turning on, brother.
That's right.
I can't begin to tell people how embarrassing that is when you have every single time you get in your car, whether it's in your driveway, whether you're at a parking lot of a Walmart, a Target, your baby mama's house. It doesn't matter. Your grandmother's house. You have to blow on this thing and completely humiliate yourself. In order for this thing to start. It's the most ridiculous thing ever, but nevertheless, I had to do that, and it was the worst ever.
Right. Yeah, and I remember being in the car with you, and I would look over, you'd be like,
"Hey,
it was embarrassing to watch a man give a blowjob to a steering wheel,
Dude, you want to hear something crazy? I didn't know this at the time because I had completely forgotten, and obviously I was drunk. But I had driven up to Dallas, Texas, to do I was featuring for, I don't even remember who it was, but Dustin Ibarra had told me, he goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Remember you had that thing on your car where you had to blow on it to start it?" And I go, "How did you know that?" He goes, "Man, because one night you were so drunk, you asked me to blow on it because I didn't drink at the time." And I said, "I did." He goes, "Yeah." So I blew on it. He goes, and we were laughing and laughing. He goes, "But it started and you were able to go home after that." I was like, oh my God. I go, "I don't even remember that."
Oh my God.
Justin Ibarra told me that. He goes, yeah, man. He goes, I remember that. That was the first time I'd met you. And I was like, oh, my God.
And you know what
Crazy.
I forgot? I mean, that was the time where you spent the year, but right before that, remember you got 2 DUIs in Houston.
Yeah.
The first time, I don't know if you remember, we're driving, I don't know where it is, man, down from Main Street for one of the clubs. You decide you're going to park your car at 1 a.m. at an angle. You park the car at an angle, you open your door, left me and Ambrose in the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay.
you decided to walk and sit on the curb like this. You sat on the curb like, bad boys, where the white guy sits by the curb waiting for the cops. That's what you were doing. You were like, come and get me, police. Come and get me, police. But it didn't work. You remember that?
I don't remember that, man. I'm sorry, dude.
It was right, man.
So the answer really should have been stop hanging out with you and Ambrose, because you guys are bad luck, man, bro.
No, we were just trying to save you. You were trying to save you, and
I know. But
you were just a young, scared little chap afraid to go to LA.
I was, and but I made it. I did everything that I had to do, and I made it. And that the end of that year, I packed all my stuff, picked you up in San Antonio, and we headed for the West Coast, baby.
Right. So how did that happen? Where was the turning point where you said, you know what, screw this, I'm going to LA? What was the turning point? What happened?
I think I sat there and thought a lot about everything that had happened up until then, and everything, like, the DUIs and stuff like that. And I think I realized mentally that this is not what I intended to do, and this wasn't my intention of staying here and getting DUIs and getting my job back and not going anywhere. I realized that I made a commitment not only to myself, but to like guys like yourself and guys like my parents that I had already told like what my intentions were, and what I wanted to do. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it. I'm not gonna sit here and be afraid. I'm gonna grab my cojones, Mike, and I'm gonna do it. So that's why I ended up not telling anybody that I was leaving. I just told my parents, my girlfriend at the time, and obviously my son. I had told over and over and over again for like over a year and a half. And I left. I packed all my stuff and I left. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to look back when it's all said and done, and I don't want to be sitting on my front porch when I'm old and gray, looking back, going shoulda, woulda, coulda, or what if. I wanted to look back and go, I tried, I did it, or I gave it a shot. I wanted to do it on my terms. I want to succeed or fail on my terms. And that was back in 2006. And I'm still here, brother.
14 years later, right?
I'm still kicking, man.
That's good, man. Like you're a recovering alcoholic now. It's been 14 years.
That's true. Look at these bags on the Myers. Are you kidding me?
But let me ask you. So did I call you, or did you call me as far as meeting in San Antonio and then driving out to LA in that U-Haul truck?
I think you called me. You were like, "Hey, man." So, like, you were asking me like what my plans were. Like, how are you going to do this? And I was like, "Oh, okay." I go, "Well, this is what I'm going to do." I had already gotten the U-Haul. I just needed to pick up the pulley to pull because I was going to pull my car. And you go, oh, okay, well, listen, we figured out, the time I was going to leave. And then you said, well, when you pass through you're going to pass through San Antonio, right? And I said, yeah. Well, you go, well, why don't you just pick me up? I'll ride with you from San Antonio all the rest of the way. And which is basically what I did. I picked you up in San Antonio. And then I think we stayed one night in was it in Phoenix? Because we did a guest spot at a comedy club there. Remember that?
Yeah. We drove. Well, you picked me up in San Antonio in the U-Haul truck,
right?
And I think we were going 45 miles an hour because the back of the U-Haul truck, right? It was
yeah, man.
Remember it was shake?
Yeah.
I think I called the 800 number U-Haul. I said, "What's so fast that you can drive in this damn thing without it tilting over?" She goes, "No more than 65, right? Thank you." And I just gunned it. I think it was in 75. I couldn't go 45. We would never get there. But we stopped either in El Paso or Phoenix. I don't remember. Well, we did a guest spot.
Yeah, I think we might have stopped in El Paso, but I know we stopped in Phoenix. That was for sure.
We stopped in El Paso and stayed at the Red Roof Inn or something for the night. We had to park the U-Haul truck from a
Yeah, I
room, you
think
could see
so.
it, so no one would break into the
Yeah,
U-Haul
that's
truck.
right. That is correct. I remember that. Now I remember that. Yes.
Then we went to Phoenix, and then I guess like what was it? 24 hours later, we made it into finally Ontario, where your cousins
Yeah.
are, right?
Yeah. We made it all the way to my uncle's house, which was in South Pasadena.
Right.
Yeah, man.
So now finally we get Rene Garcia out of Houston. We finally get you to California. Now, what was that like as far as getting used to like meeting comedians, getting into the club scene? How did all that come about? Because I know when we first met, I introduced you to as many comic friends as I knew.
Right.
But after that, you were on your own. So how did you get acclimated with everything?
You basically start all over. I mean, you're basically starting all over. That's what it is, and I think that's the most scariest thing that you have to understand. You have to and come to the realization that you're starting at the bottom all over again. These comics out here, they don't care what you've done in Texas, they don't care what you've done in Chicago, they don't care what you've done in Florida or wherever you're from. All they know is they don't know who you are, and you're brand new out here, and you're just trying to fight for stage time just as much as they are. So I think the one good thing is that because I knew some of the comedians from the comedians that you had introduced me to, they helped me out a little bit, but I mean, they can only get me the stage time that they can. Now it's up to me to go up there and prove myself. So, I mean, you have to go up there and you have to literally, you have to crush that stage every single time you go up there. Right. And that's what I realized, that these other comics, they're fighting for any kind of stage time, whether it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. They want that stage times just as much as you do. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to get up there and crush it every single time as well. So what you end up finding out is that you have to go up there and do your best material. And I don't care what it is, whatever your closer was, you better make that your opening joke, and then you better find some other kind of new closer, because you want to start off with a bang. Mm-hmm. And I knew within that whole first year, I was like, whatever it is I was doing back in Texas, I have to rewrite a whole new act. I mean, I'm having to rewrite a whole new set. And everything that I was doing before I moved to LA, by the end of that year, I wasn't even doing any of it. Seriously, I wasn't doing any of that material. I was coming up with a whole new 15 minutes, 20 minutes to half an hour to whatever I could, because I was trying to make my mark, and I was trying to make my presence known as well.
Now, when you were trying to do that, like, did you have any doubt, like saying, you know what, I made a mistake, man, I should go back to Houston? Did that ever cross your mind?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, I did, because not because of I didn't think I was funny enough, not because these guys hate me, or I don't know what I'm doing. It was more of a financial thing, because I remember when we were going to move into that apartment in Burbank, and I don't think I was prepared financially to adapt to the finances here in Los Angeles. I mean, outrageous. And so a part of me went, I think I made a mistake, not because of anything else, but my finances. I don't know if I can do this. Mm-hmm. And
what did you do?
Yeah, man. Thankfully, and I'm very fortunate to have had my college degree in radiology, in the medical field, before I moved out here, and before I even started doing comedy. I was very fortunate to have that underneath my belt, because what I basically did, Mike, is I was sacrificing most of that year by working a lot too. So I had to find a way to really manage working in the hospital and going out and hanging out at the comedy clubs as well. So, it was tough, but you got to do what you got to do, Mike. No
sacrifice, of course. You got to sacrifice.
Hey, I'm not the only one that was sacrificing anything. These guys, these comics out here, they'll tell you right off the bat, hey, you're not the only one sacrificing anything, buddy. Everybody's sacrificing something. So you can't get on that self-pity soapbox, brother.
No. Everybody, if you want to succeed, you got to sacrifice. I remember when I started in New York City, I had my day job, with the airlines and that, and after work,
that's right. I forgot you did that.
Yeah, and I would go home and change, and I had like a 8:30 to 4:30 job. And
Yeah.
I've been doing open mics till 2:30 in the morning, man.
Yeah.
Everywhere, Broadway, gay clubs, everywhere. Good people, 20 people. Any place with stage time.
Oh no,
And then I make it home by like 3 o'clock. Go to bed, get up, take a quick shower, and then work. You
yeah,
have to sacrifice, man.
yeah.
But you did that. So who were some of the comedians when you first got there that took you under their wing? Who took care of you?
Well, Joey Medina and Jeff Garcia were definitely the top two. And then they introduced me to guys like Rudy Moreno, who had a big hand in helping out a lot of not
Rudy
just
Moreno.
Rudy Moreno, who was not just helping out Latino comics, but any comics, you know. So, but Jeff Garcia and Joey Medina definitely were the top two that were helping me out here, man. And I really thank them both from the bottom of my heart for doing that by getting me started and ultimately, kind of like opening the doors for me and meeting the people that I needed to meet out here, man. It was really fantastic.
That's great. So now then we fast forward. Now you're becoming more comfortable.
Yeah.
You're like in LA, you're doing some of the clubs. And the next thing I know, you're performing at all the clubs, right? You're at the Laugh Factory, the Ha Ha Comedy Club, the Ice House Comedy Club. I mean, how did that feel, man? When you went from Houston, Texas, a DUI in a parking lot to a Hollywood stage, bro. That's a journey from Houston to Hollywood, bro.
Yeah, brother. It is absolutely one of the best things that I love about my career personally is that you go from not knowing, unsure, self-sabotaging yourself to overcoming that, overcoming your fear. You move here, you finally get your shot to do what you want to do. You get chummed up with some of the comedians and they take a liking to you. They help you out. And then the next thing you know, I'm doing all the clubs. Then I start going on the road with some of these cats and I start going on the road with some of the other comedians and start working those rooms. Not just regular, just B or one night, hole in the wall. So I'm talking about A rooms on the road, Vegas. Then I start playing Vegas, dude. You can't get any better than that. And then when you see yourself on a billboard in Vegas off the Vegas Strip, that's unbelievable.
In the world, man. That's when you come you take a picture and you say,
"Oh yeah, I did.
Mom, I made it. I made it, Mom.
With my no hands."
That's when you text your son and your ex-girlfriends and everybody. Look, I made it.
Yeah, man.
That's a feeling you got. That's Vegas, man. Don't get better than that. Who were some of the big comedian names? Did you work with some big names that took you on the road? No.
Yeah. So I was doing like I said, at first I was doing some gigs with Joey Medina and then Jeff Garcia. But I did a nice road gig with oh God, why am I his name drawing a blank? The guy from Saturday Night Live. God, what was his name? Is it Neil? You know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't. But let's say Saturday.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's hundreds of them, but I hear what you're saying. So, a Saturday Night Live alumni, right?
Yeah. He was a Saturday Night alumni, and I can't think of his name right now. I got so many names in my head that I'm doing, but yeah, so you get to meet and do some gigs with some top-notch comics, and you just try to latch on, you know what I mean? And people, you can call it what you want to call it, riding coattails or whatever. But sometimes, if they're going to help your career and they ask you to go on the road or they ask you to do a gig with them, whether it's on the road or it's in town, I mean, you say yes. You're like, hell yeah, because
you get exposure.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Money?
And and then they can eventually put you in some they can put you into some contact with some really good important people in Hollywood, man. And that's the way this business is run. This business is run by helping each other out. I'm sure somebody helped you, Mike, just like somebody helped me, just like somebody helped Joey Medina, just like somebody helped Jeff Garcia. I mean, so that's how this business works. You know what I mean? And the easiest thing to do in this business, Mike, and this, is is to create negativity.
Right.
Is to badmouth somebody. Oh, why him? I'm funnier than that. Really,
Right.
that guy. You know, and the hardest thing to do is to praise somebody, give somebody credit. Hey, brother, you know what? Congratulations on your Tonight Show or your Netflix special or your Showtime special, you know,
Mhm.
and how can I use that positivity to motivate myself to get to where that person is,
Right.
instead of dogging the guy, you know what I mean? And that's
Right.
the hardest thing that you have to learn in this business.
Right. And that's some great insights. And I hope that any comedians, actors, whoever's listening right now,
Yeah, brother.
what Rene Garcia just said is one of the keys of making it or staying successful. Be positive and right. Compliment when they need to be complimented.
Yeah.
Don't talk about negativity, that you're funnier and you'll stay in the game a lot longer and people are going to want to work with you. Because I know a lot of people, they love you. Everybody in LA loves Rene Garcia now.
That's
I don't
true.
know why. I don't know
That's
why,
true.
but they love you, bro. They love you.
I don't know, man. My reputation speaks for itself. Trust me, if you ask anybody about Rene Garcia, they're like, I think they'll just start laughing.
No, honestly, bro. I mean, for me, I know because I talk to everybody there. But I mean, you've gone from Houston, Texas, to LA. Have to start all over again. And now, anybody, if they ask, hey, Rene Garcia, all of LA knows. Everybody in LA knows Rene Garcia.
Yeah, dude. You know, but that's part of hanging out,
good.
right?
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's part of hanging out and showing your face. And it's going back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago, how we both used to have jobs and you're hanging out, trying to do open mics. And then you get home at 2, 3 in the morning, you got to go right back to work. Well, part of people knowing who you are is getting yourself out there. Because Mike, how many times you're at home and you're like, I'm too tired to go out. I don't want to go out. Like I'll go out tomorrow. And see what happens is when you start doing that, then you're not going to get up. Your ass ain't going to get up. You're going to be too tired. And then it starts to go on the third day, the fourth day, then a week goes by, and then 2 weeks go by and you haven't been out. That's why you have to get your butt up and you have to get out there and show your face, because now, I mean, well, not now, it's a pandemic and everything's closed, but
right.
Before this all happened, it's always nice to walk into a club and people go, hey, well, oh, look who's here, and people who don't know, they go, man, like, do you know everybody? You know everybody. And I'm like, I don't know, man, maybe they just know me.
Right. No, they know who you are, man. You've heard this, so that's good. So what has been so far, because now you're in LA for 14 years, right?
Yeah.
You're in La La Land. So what would you say has been like your biggest moment so far, where you said, this right here? What's been your biggest moment in LA?
Okay, well,
and it could be performing, party, whatever it is. What's been the most, what you feel has been the biggest thrill being in LA for you?
The biggest thrill being in LA is probably doing exactly what I was just talking about a few minutes ago. I remember I had a long couple of days of working, doing shows, and I was exhausted. I had a day off, and I remember I was going to sleep in, and I just happened to hear my phone going off in the morning, and it was Jack Jr. And Vinny Oshana. They were both calling me, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because they were working on a movie with Marlon Wayans, and it was his movie that he was doing at the time, which was called 50 Shades of Black, which was the spoof on 50 Shades of Grey. So I answered my phone, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" And I was like, "Nothing." I go, "I'm just in bed." They're like, "Get your ass up and come and meet us over here. We're filming whatever the location was." They go, "We're going to introduce you to the guy that books the show, right? The casting director." And man, for a split second, I was like, "Nah, I'll go to, you know what? Are y'all doing it tomorrow?" I was going to say that, Mike. And instead, I got my butt up, I got dressed, and I went over there and I met the casting director, and he goes, So Jack and Vinny were like, "Hey, this is the guy we were telling you about. We'd love to get him on, as an extra, blah, blah, blah." And sure enough, man, that casting director at that right then said, "Take down my email right now and take down my phone number. Call me tomorrow and email me your info." He goes, "And I'm going to give you a date of when to come on set." And sure enough, man, I did. I actually emailed and called him as soon as I left the set. and I didn't even wait for the next day. I called and emailed him that day, and sure enough, by the next day, he gave me a date to come. I think it was on that Monday or Tuesday. I called off of work, and I did a few scenes in the movie and background, and and both my scenes came out in the movie. Yeah, yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, one at the beginning and one in the middle, and
Wow.
if anybody's ever seen the movie 50 Shades of Black, I come out right in at the beginning of the movie, where the main actress is pulling up to this building where she's going up to the to work, and I'm crossing the street and I'm coming right towards the camera. Mike, you know it's me. I was wearing the suit.
Really?
Everybody knows me. I wear suits.
Yeah.
Man, it's me in a suit. I'm carrying a briefcase and I'm walking straight at the camera.
Wow.
Oh man,
I gotta check it out.
Fantastic. That has to be my biggest highlight right now. And you know, it's just an extra job, but that is what really kind of propelled me into doing a lot of other things, you know, with acting and voiceover stuff. So yeah, man, that was the key moment.
Yeah, but that's part of living the dream, bro. Stand
Yeah,
up, extras.
yeah,
That LA dream, bro. You're living it, man. So that's
yeah,
ain't nothing
brother.
wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, you know.
Never nothing wrong with that, Mike.
And I want to quickly shout out because you mentioned the Haha. I want to shout out the Haha Comedy Cafe,
Yeah.
and whose owners are Jack and Terry, two beautiful owners. I did my fundraiser. Remember, you hosted the fundraiser for me.
Yeah, man, that was a
And
beautiful.
Terry was nice enough to put a fundraiser together for me. She paid my way out there and so on. She's a sweetheart. So thank you, Terry. A big shout out. If you're in LA, want to see some good comedy, go to the Haha in North Hollywood. It's a badass, and they got a new location. It's just beautiful, man.
Yeah,
so
brother.
Shout out to them at the Haha. So, Mr. Big Star, now, give me one of your favorite road stories now. Every comedian, you know, doing it a long time like myself, we always got some road stories. Give me one of yours.
Oh man, favorite road story. God, we have so many. Trying to think one.
How about the day? I'll leave you. How about the day when you and I slept in the same bed?
Okay, yes. You know what? That's a good one. So if anybody doesn't know, a lot of times when you go on the road, and especially other comics, you probably will start to know this, but a lot of times, you know, these gigs, they're on a budget. So if the gig is on a budget, sometimes the comics have to share a room. Okay. And there's not always 2 bedrooms in there. Sometimes you
have to share the same bed.
Sometimes you have to share the same bed. So this particular weekend, this particular night, me and Mike had to share not only the same room, we had to share the same bed. Right. And this is almost like a scene out of a movie. And this is why I know this is why these scenes out of the movies, the reason why they're like this is because they're actually true and they happen. So me and Mike sharing the same room, sharing the same bed, and the next thing I know, I'm kind of like waking up, but not waking up.
Wait. Let's backtrack.
Okay, backtrack. You tell it.
Before we get to I just want to backtrack. So before we lie in the bed, right?
Yeah.
I say to you, Rene, listen. Now this is an imaginary line right here. I said, you see this line right here? You stay on that side, I'll stay on this side. Got it? Yeah, no problem. So now we know we know our boundaries. So what happened?
Yeah, but that was kind of hard because it was only a twin bed, bro.
Yeah, but still, there's 2 guys in the twin bed. If we have to lie sideways, that's what happens, bro. Yeah, don't cross on my side. Basically,
I just remember I'm kind of awake, but I'm not really awake. You know, where you're still dreaming, but you're kind of waking up. Right. And then I just, for some reason, I don't know why, but I feel this bang right on the back of my head, like somebody elbowed me or dropped a box on my head, and I'm still trying not to wake up, but then I do wake up, and Mike is holding me from the back, and for some reason decides to punch me in the back of the head, and we both get up like, wait a minute. We didn't want to say anything at first, and then we were but it was too awkward. We had to discuss it.
It was crazy. You know what happened was I think I fell asleep, and I didn't realize it. I was half asleep, and then when I kind of like woke up, you know, like when you're half asleep and you wake up, you look around.
Yeah.
I was cuddling you, bro. I had you in my arms. I was holding you.
I believe it.
I was holding you like I don't know, my little fucking teddy bear, bro. You were tight. You were tight right here, tight. And then I shook my head and I said, "What the? You do one of these? What the fuck is going on, bro?" So I went like this. I wound up and I punched you in the back of the head, right?
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why.
And your head like just went forward, and then you looked at me scared, like through the corner, like.
Yeah, I did. I was like,
you were afraid to look at me, like, what is he going to do to me next, bro? This guy, if this guy's having a wet dream, man, I don't want.
Oh man, I was like, dude, what's happening?
Yeah, and I said, bro, we don't need to talk about this shit to nobody.
Dude, that's a good story, bro. That's got to be one of my favorites. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude.
That's mine too, bro. Because honestly, bro, not that I'm aware of, but I never cuddled another dude before, bro.
Well, neither have I. So
but let me tell you, bro, though, you felt good, bro.
Hey, brother. I've never been cuddled by another comic either, so it's all good, brother.
But there you go. So whether a girl or a guy, bro, anybody would want to cuddle you, bro.
You were the first and the last, Mike.
You are what I would call like a bisexual cuddler. No matter who, bro, they'll cuddle with you, bro. You cuddle both ways.
You believe this guy?
Oh man,
I believe you, Mike.
That was good. So now, my man, now it's the coronavirus time. Now you gotta be careful. Then when they take Rene from the comedian, then you're what, a X-ray analyst or something?
X-ray technologist.
X-ray, big title.
Yeah.
What do you do? Basically, you take X-rays, right?
Yeah, I'm an X-ray tech. Yeah, basically.
But you're technology. Let's keep it on radio.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Now, no joking aside, you got an important job. So what are you doing to keep safe, bro?
Well, we have to take the necessary precautions of, we have to wear gowns and a mask and a shield, goggles, the N95 mask. You have to wear it all, especially when we're dealing with positive or possibly positive COVID patients.
Really?
And just to get everybody to understand, because especially here in LA, all the comedy clubs are shut down. Nothing is open. Unfortunately, every single comedy club that's here in LA is shut down, whether it's the Improvs, the Haha, the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, the Ice House. They're all shut down. So you can't go anywhere. You can't work. And a lot of things are closed on the road, Mike. So I basically ended up going back and working full time at the hospitals, which I was saying I was very fortunate to have kept up my license and everything all these years. But yeah, so it's a little bit nerve wracking, Mike. Dealing with these patients, and I know people have their own opinions, whether it's real, whether it's fake, whether it's bullshit or whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you, working in the hospitals, man. I mean, go to work with me one time, and I'm telling you, your outlook is a lot different, because you're looking at these patients and they are sick, they don't feel good, and they're coughing and they're sneezing and they're coughing up just whatever the hell they're coughing up. And wow. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be exposed to that. I don't want to touch that. So which is why we have to wear the gowns and the hats, the goggles, the N95 mask. Because we have to be careful for ourselves as well. Yeah. And there are a lot of employees that do come down where they test positive for COVID, man. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, man, you gotta be careful on that. So
yeah, buddy.
When you say that, I guess you would agree, man. It's important that everybody wears a mask. Would you believe that? I mean,
yes, I do. And you know what? Whether you believe it or not, and whether you think it's just something made up, I wear the mask only for myself. I wear it for myself, but I also wear it to be courteous. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But here's the crazy thing, Mike, and not to get political, but it's almost like damn if you do and damn if you don't, because when people see you have the mask on, they talk shit to you, and when you don't have the mask on, they talk shit to you, and it's just like it's like I said, damn if you do, damn if you don't. It's like,
have you ever hit a patient?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Not, yeah. You mean like the way you hit me, like in the back of the head? No.
Yeah, like that. I remember you telling me it was funny because you take X-rays, right?
Yeah.
And you said that a man was in a car accident or something. I remember, but anyway, there was something wrong with his penis, and that you had to take an X-ray of his penis. Remember? And I told you, well, how did you actually hold the man's penis to take the X-ray? Remember?
Yeah. Okay. It wasn't a car accident. What it was is this is when I was still living in Houston, actually,
Okay.
by the way.
Mhm.
The guy was he, he was I know. I'm trying.
Okay.
So basically, in a nutshell, the guy was having intercourse with his girlfriend, and she was on top. So she must have come down, and it came out. So she sat on it, and she basically,
Fuck, no, wait, easy. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
paying right now. Go ahead. So,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
so
She bent
she's
it. Yeah,
so
but
she,
they just wanted me to take an X-ray of it because they wanted to see, I guess, um, I don't know, blood flow or
right, right.
some.
So that's what I'm saying.
I don't
So
know,
what
man.
happened? The girl was on top, right?
The girl was on
And
top.
she went on it down too hard. You said.
Yeah, it must
Was
have
she
killed
like
out.
was she like a big girl that it would snap? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think she was. Yeah, I think she was kind of like a thicker girl. So,
They got like what 200-300 pounds, maybe like that.
that I don't know. I didn't see her. She
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
there.
it wasn't
Yeah,
that good. Yeah,
yeah, but it
she
was
left.
one of those.
She left the scene of the crime, bro.
Yeah, apparently, bro.
Right. So the guy shows up at the hospital, right? So I guess my question: what does a broken penis look like?
It looks like an L. it,
Oh
look,
God, really?
it,
No,
it looks
it normally looks like an L.
it looks like a 90-degree angle, like
Oh my God.
like a 90-degree angle, bro. That's what
Okay.
it looks like.
Okay. So then I
I,
want to know. So how did it, Rene, the X-ray expert? How did you hold this man's penis?
actually, that's the great thing. I didn't have to hold anything. I put the board.
Rene, it was broken. Someone had to hold it.
No. Because here's the thing: is that the blood is
How do I
trapped.
get to the blood part? I just want to know: did you hold it or not
No,
hold it?
you don't have to hold it
All right.
because
So you were able to X-ray it
yes,
without holding it.
because it's
Right.
still erect. It's still in the erect position. That's it's crazy, right? It's crazy.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
your
man.
job, man. So you had to look at it, though, right?
Yes, yeah.
You had to look at it.
So,
Now, were you up close or you were far away looking at it?
well, I was like from I don't know, like from here to you.
Okay, pretty close, pretty close. All right, let me ask you this today. So what was the final result of this, man? Do you know? Did they fix it
Oh
or
yeah,
how did it?
no, they fixed it. They just had to they had to uh I don't know how they did it, but they found a way to release the blood flow to
Okay. That was too graphic. All right,
yeah.
they fixed it. All right, they fixed it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, they
pretty good.
fixed it. Yeah, they fixed
Oh
it.
man,
And
you're a jack of all trades.
he was fine.
Look at this comedian.
Yeah, man,
Went
right?
from Texas to LA.
You name it, I do it.
You started all over.
Yeah,
You
man.
became a big name. Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, brother.
You made it to Vegas, bro. You
Yeah,
perform at all the clubs in LA.
yeah,
And you
man.
got to hold a man's penis. I mean, bro,
Right?
that is success, bro.
That's what
That
I'm
to me
talking
is
about.
living the Hollywood dream, bro.
Yeah,
That
brother.
right there is the Hollywood dream.
Boy,
That's the perfect ending. You'll be up in the Hollywood Hills holding the dude's penis, bro. The end.
brother.
Everybody go see that movie, bro.
That's what you're gonna read in my bio, bro. It's gonna be in the movie that they're gonna make about me too, man.
Oh man, bro. One thing I know about you, brother, man, you're a really cool dude. You're fucking man. I admire you, man, and respect you for making that move because a lot of dudes would not make it, bro. They're just afraid to go to La La Land.
Yeah,
But you would do it. You got my respect as a friend, as a comedian. You've always had my back. You've always been there for me. And every time I see you in LA, I get happy because I remember those moments, man. I remember they didn't want to go. But I see how happy you are, and that makes me happy, bro. So thank you for being here, man.
Thank you, man. I just want to say one more thing too, if I can. And the one thing that has always kept me upbeat and my spirits high out here, based off for what you just said, Mike, is I've had guys like Joey Diaz and unfortunately, Ralphie May, who passed away some years ago, but they both, who was also from Houston, by the way. But what Joey Diaz and Ralphie May always used to tell me, and separate occasions, they would always call me or when they would see me in the clubs, they would always tell me like how happy they were to see that not only did I come out to LA to try to pursue this crazy dream of mine, but the fact that I stayed here and I've been here the whole time. Out of all the people from Houston, Texas, bro, I'm still there. I'm still here, bro. I'm still here. Out of all the ones that have come and gone, I'm still here. Unfortunately, Ralphie, passed away, but yeah, man, it's always nice to hear it coming from guys like that, man.
No doubt. And have you ever thought about going back to Houston?
No.
Hell no, right?
To visit, yeah, but to live, yeah.
It's amazing, bro. You've come a long way, bro. I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Mike, man. I love you to death, dude. And man, every time I see your face and I come up on my screen on my phone or your number, dude, I smile, brother, and I get excited, brother. You're a good dude, man. I love you, and there's no other friend I'd rather have, than you by my side, brother. Every single time.
Yeah, bro. We had a lot of good times.
Yeah, man, we have.
Tell everybody, how can they go and find Rene Garcia? They want more. Where do they go, bro?
Oh, you can hit me up on my social media, guys. You can hit me up across the board. It's at Rene Garcia. It's Rene Garcia across the board. It's Rene Garcia, and that's Rene with one E. And you guys should know how to spell Garcia because it's really easy. It's like the Mexican Smith. Really easy. It's it's Rene Garcia across the board on social media.
Right. And it's Rene with one E. Rene, two E's would be a girl, right?
Right. That would not be me.
That would not be you, man. Rene Garcia with one E.
You got
I'm Mike Robles, Buzz, or you can go to my website, MikeRobles.com. This is totally uncensored. Thanks for tuning in. Rene, my brother, stay safe and keep them laughing, bro.
That's right, brother. Stay sexy and let's go.
Stay sexy. Yeah, bro. Stay sexy.
Yeah.